It's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. Unwelcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.
Live from the Casey Center in Des Moines, the Class 1A Girls State Basketball Tournament continues. The state tournament in Des Moines is being brought to you by the Iowa Farm Bureau, and you're watching live coverage on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. Tonight, we get to see a regular face here at the state tournament. The second-seeded Mustangs from Newell-Fonda against the 7-seed, and maybe a Cinderella story, the Saints from St. Ansgar High School. Well, with that, we say a very pleasant good evening to you, and welcome courtside here to the Casey Center in Des Moines. I'm Daniel Versteg, joined by the state champion head coach Chris Larson. And, well, if you've been to the state tournament in Des Moines before, you've seen Newell-Fonda. We know what they can do. They are an outstanding defensive team.
Yeah, just pressure, and more pressure is what you're going to see. But coming in as a 7 seed, let's not forget St. Ansgar won the state volleyball tournament. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of pride and a lot of winners on their team. What a great 2-7 matchup that we're going to get tonight.
It's a very sneaky matchup, but of course St. Ansgar defeated 8th-ranked Gladbrook-Rhinebeck to get to the state tournament, so they know a thing or two about upsets. But it's always interesting, Chris. You know, when you come down here to the state tournament, you cannot possibly prepare for Newell-Fonda's press until you see the speed firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that last year firsthand when I got to watch and call their quarterfinal game. And their pressure, not only does it is it intense, but it also comes to you in waves. They bring a lot of different girls in. They run different forms of pressure off you. St. Ansgar is going to have their hands full because we know it's a tried and proven formula for success.
Well, let's take a look at how these two teams made it down here to Des Moines at the Casey Center by taking a look at our road to state for these two squads. First, for Newell-Fonda, they were a champion in Region 1, defeating George Little Rock with a 22-2 record. Of course, we talk about the defense, but they're pretty good offensively as well, nearly 70 points a game. And we see the outstanding Sievers duo. One of them comes off the bench, the other starts, and Ellie and Quinn, they combine for some great success this season. We mentioned St. Ansgar defeated 8th-ranked Gladbrook-Rhinebeck in the region final, so they are coming in as a little bit of an underdog, but they could put up some scoring as well, led in large part by J.C. Johnston, who averages 17.5 points a ball game. That's a look at how these teams got here to Des Moines. When we come back, we're going to take a look at what they need to do now to have success and win this state quarterfinal. We'll take a look at our channel seeds for success. When we return to the Casey Center in Des Moines, you're watching live coverage of the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
You volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
As title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we're proud to support this fantastic event. At the Iowa Farm Bureau, we believe that strong farms and strong schools fuel strong futures. Partnering with the Girls Union allows us to celebrate Iowa's youth while supporting and empowering the Iowa girl.
Reaching the state tournament is no small feat, and it takes a strong support system. Thanks to the Iowa Farm Bureau, we're able to honor students for their outstanding achievements in each of their sports and in the classroom. The Iowa Farm Bureau helps our organization provide awards, grants, and scholarships to honor excellence in athletics and academics.
Whether you're a student competing today or a fan cheering from home, we all play a role in making our state shine. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau
and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union,
congratulations on a fantastic season and good luck.
We're back inside the Casey Center in Des Moines. Glad you're with us on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy with Chris Larson, Daniel Versteg with you. It's Newell-Fonda and St. Ansgar set for the Class 1A state quarterfinal. Chris, let's see what these two teams need to do to win this ball game by taking a look at our channel seeds for success.
All right, well, let's start off with Newell-Fonda, and you'll see, keep the juggernaut going. And I didn't say juggernaut, but I really wanted
right.
to. And what we mean, Coach Jungers, it is, like I said, the formula is tried and proven. They are going to pressure, and more pressure. And you talked about how well they score the ball, but that all starts with their pressure and their transition offense. So that's what you're going to be looking for on the Newell-Fonda side. For St. Ansgar, they do have championship experience, and they got to lean on that. They won the state volleyball title. A lot of that grows in confidence. We were just talking about that, especially I think in some small schools where they're playing every sport, this is really something to keep your eye on. They're not going to be afraid out there for sure. And then, obviously, with that pressure, they got to limit turnovers. Execute, use your jump stops, pass the ball well. Don't let Newell-Fonda get away from you with that transition offense.
Those are our channel seeds for success. They're brought to you by Channel Seeds, your local seed dealer. Visit channelseed.com today. And you do make an excellent point about St. Ansgar winning the state title in volleyball. They've already, just a few months ago, been in pressure situations, been in a spot where they had to maybe dig deep and find a way to get a side out or to get a point on the board, win a set point. And that pressure, while it's a different kind of pressure, can translate from sport to sport.
I'm just such a big believer in that. And obviously doesn't mean every single basketball player played volleyball, but even the girls who didn't play, they got to watch that experience, and then they get a little hungrier. And then the girls who did play, the confidence just is such a big part of athletics, and so I don't think you're going to see them come and be intimidated by Newell-Fonda at all.
Well, Newell-Fonda's, of course, got that pedigree that you talked about. This is their 9th consecutive state tournament appearance, and they don't come down here just to have a good time, play a game, and call it a week. They come down here to get to Saturday and to play for state championships. They've done that the last 3 years in a row.
You know, a good friend and a mentor of mine said this to me way back in the early 2000s. The first time I ever came to state, he's like, making state's awesome, but once you get there, you're just hungry for more success. And he's like, the real tournament starts in the semis. And I think Newell-Fonda has figured that out. So these quarterfinal matchups are great, and there's a lot of entertainment in your community, but then you get your experience on the floor, and you're like, I want to stay here for the week.
And then by that point, you get to Friday, and you're very comfortable with all of the lights and the pageantry and all that kind of stuff. It becomes kind of a second nature to you, and that's where Newell-Fonda sits right now. The Mustangs 22-2, the number 2 seed, and LA perennial power, kind of the one that has the target on their back year in and year out. St. Ansgar, they'll be looking to aim toward that title. Of course, these two teams did square off in a semifinal 6 years ago in 2020. Newell-Fonda handled business against the Saints in that matchup, winning by 51 points. But, of course, it's a brand-new season and a brand-new set of girls that, they probably watch those games in the stands. And we'll see if they can put it all together on the floor tonight. Let's go down to our public address announcer, Joe Hammond, for the pregame introductions.
The Newell-Fonda Mustangs. Fans' tradition is an important part of the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union's storied history. Because our past is an integral part of what we do today, we ask that everyone in attendance please join in a round of applause to show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Because once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by St. Ansgar High School and Newell-Fonda High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Natalie Smith from Winterset, a member of the IGHSAU Student Athlete Advisory Committee, will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From St. Ansgar High School, Tom Townsend. And from Newell-Fonda High School, Olin Jesse. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to enjoy the game. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in today's quarterfinal matchup. Today's team intros are brought to you by Hy-Vee. First, the non-starters for the St. Ansgar Saints. Number 1, Macy Meyer. Number 3, Elise Hyatt. Number 5, Hattie Rogerson. Number 13, Ella Horgan. Number 23, Charlie Klein. Number 33, Olivia Damaris. Number 43, Alexis Frine. And number 55, Adrina Franson. The assistant coaches for St. Ansgar are Trevor Urich and Adri Gertz. Now let's meet the non-starters for the Newell-Fonda Mustangs. Number 4, Mina Adams. Number 10, Quinn Sievers. Number 14, Elliot Hamilton. Number 22, Danica Meyer. Number 24, Kennedy Hoberman. Number 30, Paige Erickson. Number 34, Cameron Perman. Number 42, Madeline Vanderhoff. Number 50, Michaela Hansen. And number 52, Ella Roberts. The assistant coaches for Newell-Fonda are Courtney Darrow, Julie Sievers, and Paul Luce. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for tonight's starting lineups? For St. Ansgar, at forward, a 5'11 senior, number 21, J.C. Johnston. And for Newell-Fonda, at guard, a 5'7 sophomore, number 12, Ellie Sievers. For St. Ansgar, at guard, a 5'7 senior, number 25, Ava Falk. And for Newell-Fonda, at guard, a 5'6 senior, number 20, Maureen Brabeck. For St. Ansgar, at guard, a 5'3 senior, number 31, McKenna Norby. And for Newell-Fonda at guard, a 5'7" junior, number 32, Riley Hograve. For St. Ansgar at guard, a 5'7" junior, number 35, Quinn Osgood. And for Newell-Fonda at guard, a 5'9" senior, number 44, Ava Vi. For St. Ansgar at center, a 6'2" senior, number 53, Lindsay Cruzy. And for Newell-Fonda at forward, a 6' senior, number 54, Josie Walsh. The head coach for St. Ansgar is Rachel Foster, and the head coach for Newell-Fonda is Dick Jungers. The floor officials for this evening's game are Brandon Smith, Adam Walderbach, Andrew Cohn, and the bench official is Josh Woodward.
Well, we are ready to get this one started, and before we begin today's game, we'd like to once again thank the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each county across Iowa, and we'd like to thank them for their support of the two teams playing in our game today. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa girls. St. Ansgar, the Saints at 20-4, number 14, but with the 7 seed here in Class 1A against the number 2 seed Newell-Fonda Mustangs. Alongside Chris Larson, Daniel Versteg, happy to be with you for our broadcast this evening as St. Ansgar immediately meets that Newell-Fonda pressure and turns the basketball over.
They sure did. You're exactly right. Just the ball pressure in their man-to-man defense right away got them the turnover, and a good look at 3 to start.
Couldn't quite hit it. Saints do keep it alive. Well, the key for the Saints will be, as you mentioned, limiting turnovers. That starts with good ball movement, which is a lot easier said than done against this Newell-Fonda team. Of course, they force 16 steals per game on average. Here come the Saints. That goes. It's J.C. Johnston getting the Saints on the board.
That'll get you relaxed in a hurry, right? That's one good way to beat pressure. Use that dribble and attack hard if you're going to go.
So here's Newell-Fonda. They'll look to try and answer, and it's Marini Brabeck who runs the point for the Mustangs, along with Ellie Sievers. Those two do such a good job. Here is Sievers. Speak of her 3 comes up short. Good rebound by Walsh. She goes up and under for 2.
Well, you saw St. Ansgar come out in kind of a 2-1-2 zone, maybe going to roll into a 2-3. You got to be ready. They're going to press right away. But really hard to rebound off of zones, right? So that's something that Newell-Fonda will look to attack all night.
There's a lob down to Cruzy. The Saints do have the height advantage down low. Cruzy at 6'2". And 3 goes off glass. What a shot by Osgood. She set the school record this season for 3s, and we can see why.
She's using the glass early down here at KC Center.
Well, you might as well. It doesn't matter how it goes in, just has to go in.
Exactly.
We got a foul down low. Our first foul of the game, and it's on Newell-Fonda. No, it's on St. Ansgar, excuse me.
Yep.
And they're going to pick up Ava Falk for that foul. First one. We'll get a look at that bank shot 3.
How about that?
Glass.
Beautiful looking shot, right? Hey, but if you put it up there with a nice soft touch, it has a better chance to go in.
Absolutely, yeah. Here's the drive. And the shot up by Sievers won't go. Good rebound there by Newell-Fonda. And the Saints were tangled up down low and commit the foul.
Daniel, let's keep an eye on this too, right? That's 2 possessions, 2 offensive rebounds so far for Newell-Fonda. That is something that St. Ansgar is going to have to get taken care of in this zone.
Yeah, and that's something Newell-Fonda has done all season. 16 offensive rebounds a game as a team. They are so good at creating second chances. Dangerous pass. It still found the target. She meant to do that.
Just the way they planned it, but it worked out.
Riley Hograve connecting on the other side of that deflected pass. A screen set near midcourt. Couldn't quite get Johnston fully free. And now the Saints skip it over. There's Johnston, a drive inside, and a foul.
Boy, it's easy to see why she's putting up those big numbers, right? 1,000-point score for them, but she absorbs the body contact, right? And I thought she did a really nice job the first time she got a layup, too. She kind of expected the contact and finished through it rather than, going up soft.
J.C. Johnston was the player of the year on the top of Iowa Conference Eastern Division this year, and Well, she's showing why. The three-point play doesn't go, but St. Ansgar's got an early lead on Newell-Fonda. Good start early. Here's Sievers blowing by the St. defense, and to clean it up is Ella Roberts.
3 possessions, 3 offensive rebounds. We got to keep our eye on that. They're killing them on the boards.
Oh, here's a steal. This is a typical Newell-Fonda possession. It's Quinn Sievers from the outside, just a bit short. The rebound is there, and another O-board leads to another bucket.
So far, all their points are off second chance points, and you can see what their pressure does.
Cameron Perman was the beneficiary of that one, and it is so crazy, Chris, how you can go from up 3 to down to Newell-Fonda just by snapping your fingers.
Well, and I think we're doing that. We're trying to explain a play, and before you know it, the next play is going on. That's how they want to play basketball. And like we said, they've been doing it for a long time, and their girls are used to it and comfortable with it.
Oh, and it's so funny. I made the comment down here for Newell-Fonda. It feels like every girl that plays basketball also runs track or runs cross-country. Well, they went to state in cross-country this year, so you can see why. They've got such incredible endurance to go up and down the floor. And Ella Roberts will be going to the line to shoot, too, on a nice post move down low.
Yeah, nice little interior pass that time by Carmen Perman, and set up a couple free throws. But, yeah, you're so right. You got to be in really great shape to do this. And they're all right getting into an up-and-down play. Even if they, the first couple times they broke the pressure and got a look, but they'll definitely be very comfortable. And you can see almost every dead ball you're going to see a substitute at the bench, and they're just going to keep coming at you in waves.
Great look at that inside pass once again from Cameron Perman as she hits Ella Roberts, who's looking to at least sink one, and she does, to put the Mustangs up 2. And it's a little quick 5-0 spurt for Newell-Fonda. St. Ansgar dribbles into that trap as well that they pair with the pressure so well.
Yep.
There's Johnston. She's got 4 already for the Saints. Steps inside the arc. She's fouled and hits it. It's a 2 and a chance at a 3-point play. No, they're going to
give her 3.
Oh, it looked like she had her foot on the arc.
Thought she might. They got to help. They helped each other, though, so we'll take a look. They don't have the good fortune of replay like they do at the college level. So
Johnston's going to get a 4-point play possibility here for St. Ansgar, and she converts.
How about that?
Not too shabby for J.C. Johnston as St. Ansgar goes up 11-9, and now there is some confusion. We will get another look at this one on our broadcast. Johnston stops. Yeah, I think her foot was inside the arc.
There's no thinking there, Daniel. That's all right, though. Like I said, it gets tricky. They don't get the
You're right. They don't get that benefit.
Replay.
And I think there is a conversation being had down on the scores table about whether or not that was a 2 or a 3. And
well,
they are relaying to Rachel Foster, the head coach of the Saints.
Well, I think with Al also, they maybe reported the foul to the wrong player. So I think that's what they were looking up right there.
But it is worth noting that it looks like they've only now they did put that free throw on there.
Okay.
So they are going to keep it a 4-point play. It's 11-9, St. Ansgar.
Who knows? Could that come back later in this game?
Right. Here's a step-back jumper for Brabeck. Doesn't go. And the Saints pull down the rebound. They're taking advantage of the opportunity that's presented.
Alexis Freen gets in there and gets a really nice rebound. She just came in off the bench, maybe for that rebounding.
Quinn Osgood knocks down the floater, and before we can even regroup, Newell-Fonda's on the other side. This one's off the Mustangs. It'll be Saints basketball. How about the start for St. Ansgar, up 4 midway through this first quarter? Don't tell the Saints they're a 7 seed against a perennial power.
We said they're going to come out and play with confidence, right? And you can tell they have a lot of good athletes. It really is coming down to the pace. Can they get used to playing at this pace? Because they're a really good basketball team. And right now they're taking pretty good care of the basketball against this pressure.
This is Osgood giving it off to Falk. And now back to Johnston. You can't leave her open. Doesn't fall. Put back by Cruzy on another offensive rebound.
Yeah, you can see. A lot of times we used to often say the shot or the possession starts when the shot goes up. Both these teams live by that rule for sure.
Walsh trying to go inside, and Cruzy gets a hand on the pass. The Saints are playing with some confidence here in the first quarter and have a chance to extend their lead past 6. Dangerous pass, ill-advised from Johnston.
Got caught up in the air there that time, Daniel.
Ava Vi on the steal. Here comes Sievers working inside. And she'll kick it out. The open three is down, and a great shot by Hograve.
Yeah, strange rotation, kind of a knuckleball on. Did you notice that? They didn't have much backspin on it. But, man, when you go right through the hoop, it doesn't matter.
Dangerous pass. Hograve nearly got a hand on it. Now Walsh takes it away. It's got to feel like there's 10 Mustangs on the floor. They're so good defensively. And they tie it up with a three from Ellie Sievers.
Yeah, she's a really good player. I got a chance, we all did at the state tournament last year. I watched her all the way to the final game, and as a freshman, she is fantastic talent.
She helped lead Newell-Fonda as a freshman to that runner-up finish, and we'll get a deflected ball out of bounds off of Newell-Fonda and stays with the Saints. As we do get a few players again into the contest, we've had a few substitutions. They, of course, are brought to you by IMT Insurance tonight. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT by visiting IMTINS.com. Here's the inbound. Three on the way goes, but a travel is called on the shot by Norby.
Kind of see that. She kind of shuffled her feet once she got the ball. You got to kind of get that 1 foot set and then swing your leg into it when you know that pass is coming.
Tough break for Norby because the shot went in, too. We're seeing some good looks from the outside drop. These two are very effective from the outside at Sievers. What a quick first step. Misses it, but it is cleaned up and put away by Vi.
Yeah, more and more offensive boards. A little bit of a 2-2-1. See how it's different pressure all the time, and they do such a good job with that.
Once you figure out one press, they change it up, and
there we go.
Quinn Sievers on the assist from Ellie Sievers.
Sister to sister there, taking care of each other.
We got a timeout, and it is for St. Ansgar. The Saints up by Newell-Fonda up by 4, building it with a 10-0 run. Talk about the change in pressure. It's got to be so challenging when you've gotten used to one way they're pressuring you, and then they switch it up, and you're back to square one again.
Yeah, it's really fantastic basketball and fantastic defense. And you can see what happens is when they go to dribble, then one girl will stop, and then she'll go to double team her, and then you have 4 hands that are going after the ball. But they're going from a man-to-man, what we call run-and-jump defense, where it looks like it's man-to-man, but somebody who, if you dribble towards them, will just come run and try and trap you. But then the last possession, it was a 2-2-1, and now this one looks like it's a 2-1-2 pressure.
How in the world do you adapt that quickly? It is so challenging, but they are going to bring the ball up with Johnston. That's one way to change it up. Pass it up the floor, and this is clean so far. Now Cruzy on the outside.
I do like what St. Ansgar is really doing, though. They are using their jump stops well, using ball fakes, and that's something that you really want to do against the pressure.
Again, an open look for 3. Just is short from Falk. Oh, a good hustle for the rebound. There was a foul before that shot went in, and St. Ansgar will get the ball back on the foul by Ellie Sievers.
That was a tough one. It wiped out a really great play. Both girls diving on the floor. Made a great pass, and Johnston was going to have another one.
I've heard some people say, well, can we decline a foul like in football?
Right.
In some instances, it would be handy.
Kind of like soccer, too. They have the play on penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Cruzy down low. Nearly got that shot to fall, but she'll go to the line instead. Lindsay Cruzy, who gets to the charity stripe.
One of the things that can get so discouraging when you're playing a team like Newell-Fonda is, I think if you feel, I feel like the Saints are playing really well, and you look up at the scoreboard and, you want to make this to be down 2. It's just because with the pressure, Newell-Fonda just provides themselves with so many easy opportunities, right? So something to keep an eye on. It mentally drains you.
Second one for Cruzy, just off the mark. She did hit the first. And Newell-Fonda is already working up the floor. That's Quinn Sievers over to Brabeck. And a nice takeaway. That one's deflected by Falk. Here comes St. Ansgar. The kick-out pass into the corner. That's a 2 for Johnston.
Nice.
And it rattles down.
Really nice pass that time by Quinn Osgood. She went right down the middle of the floor and then kick out to your open shooter. Good basketball.
It's a 1-point game. Just like that. A step through for Walsh, and that settles in.
Really nice. Good pass. Good drive.
Newell-Fonda getting to 21 points in this first quarter. They can score in a hurry. St. Ansgar is right now going shot for shot with them.
Yeah.
Saints bring it across with Osgood. She set up that last bucket. Now here she gives it to Norby. Well, good cross court over to Johnston for the tie. Just short, and it'll be Newell-Fonda ball. Mustangs on the run out. They've got numbers. Brabeck the skip. Sievers down low to Hograve.
Look at that.
What ball movement. Walsh is going to the line.
You got to love that if you're a coach. All 5 girls touched the basketball, and it started in one corner, reversed all the way around for a beautiful little dump down for a layup, which was obviously earned the foul.
Yeah, that makes any basketball coach just giddy watching everybody touch the ball on a possession, as Walsh's first free throw does not fall. So we'll take a look at that again.
Skip. Boom. That kind of ball movement is going to get you a lot of open looks.
Yeah, that was well done. Second one for Walsh. Doesn't go. Can't quite get a point out of that one. And Lindsay Cruzy's got the rebound for St. Ansgar.
See, one thing you can't do if you're St. Ansgar, you cannot leave anybody alone, right? And so what you kind of saw is they thought, oh, we're used to this all year. Our point guard can just bring it up. You can't do this because your girl will stop and go trap, and then you get into all sorts of trouble.
Newell-Fonda is going to get a chance for the last shot if they want to slow it down, but they'll go to Ellie Sievers just off the mark. Saints pull down the rebound. Now St. Ansgar will have a chance. And it'll be Osgood who runs it up the floor. Gets all the way inside. Kicks it out to Johnston. She's inside. Runs it up. Can't hit it. Cruzy got the rebound. Missed that one. Tie up for the board. Newell-Fonda ball. 5 seconds left.
We'll see if they can get a shot off, but at St. Ansgar, that kind of becomes a big tie-up just because now you get the ball to start the second quarter.
And a chance maybe to build some early momentum in that second. Inbound goes to Quinn Sievers. Shows off her speed, but loses the ball. 35-footer, just a bit short. And that will take us into the second quarter. What a hot start to this one. Newell-Fonda leads by a long ball, 21-18. We'll take this one into the second quarter. You're watching the Class 1A Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
From homeowners to small businesses, Iowa banks know what it means to invest in the future. Their customer relationships are built on shared values and earned trust. Iowa Banks, your partner through it all. Alongside my partner, Chris Larson, I'm Daniel Versteg, and in this 2-7 matchup, Newell-Fonda, the early 3-point lead. St. Ansgar has put together a really nice start to this matchup, but they've run into some issues turning the basketball over. I think St. Ansgar, if you would have told them they turned the ball over 8 times in the first quarter, being down 3 points would be a great outcome off of that.
No, absolutely. They're hanging right in there. Now, but the thing of it is, you got to keep your intensity, you got to keep your mental focus against Newell-Fonda because they can get going in a hurry.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times already. They went on a 10-0 run early in that quarter as now Cruzy turns away Walsh, but does so with a foul, and that's a costly second foul already on Lindsay Cruzy.
Tough one, too. She was trying to go straight up. Obviously, the momentum kind of carried her into it, so sometimes you got to just hang with them. That's a tough one.
Walsh's first free throw doesn't go, and Walsh was 0 for 2 at the line prior to that one. Now off to an 0 for 3 start. Normally makes about 58% of her attempts. But of course, you got the depth perception of the basket and all that to get used to. It's a little bit more challenging down here. Second one does go. And Walsh knocks down her first free throw of the night to give the Mustangs a 4-point lead.
Let's give a little credit, too, to Quinn Osgood. She has really, done a good job. Well, let's see if that's right on cue.
Oh,
how about that?
Wow. College and professional range for Quinn Osgood. It's a 1-point game. And a travel the other way. St. Ansgar with a chance at the lead right away.
Quinn was like, Coach, I'm not just controlling our tempo. I'm going to show you I got a little game. I can shoot it too.
Yeah, you were going to give her credit for her bringing the ball up, and then she just launched a bomb and put it right through the bucket. That one's taken away by Walsh. And now they'll look for a three of their own. It doesn't fall for Ellie Sievers. Oh, here comes Johnston on the run out. We're quickly going back up the floor. Missed off the rim, tapped over to Newell-Fonda. Mustangs will take it across with 5. Well, we're going to break our necks just going back and forth on this one. Here's Brabeck to the cup. Lays it in.
Yeah, she's quick out there, right? And that time she took advantage of a transition defense. Didn't quite get matched up, and then she took advantage of it.
Yeah, Coach Jungers calls her the jitterbug.
Yeah, she really is.
Lightning quick. St. Ansgar basketball. They're only down 3. They've got to feel pretty good about where things are at right now, especially if you can get one to fall. How about Osgood?
Again.
And another.
How about that? Quinn Osgood. And they're barely hitting the net, right? They're an absolute swish. So we're all tied up.
She's off and rolling here at the state tournament. The Mustangs look to get it inside. They'll kick it to Brabeck. That misses. Another second chance for Newell-Fonda. Works around, dumps it in. That is Ellie Sievers trying to kick it out. St. Ansgar got the steal, and now Newell-Fonda's all over her. As you said earlier, you can't leave a player on an island. And this is going to be a tough situation here. Who's got the ball? It's
they gave her a timeout.
They got a timeout to St. Ansgar. Boy. And it is a full one, so we will take it as well. We need a break. It's been a quick 2 minutes to start this second quarter, but we're all tied up, and we'll see how things continue in just a moment on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Well, this 7-2 matchup has been entertaining right out of the get-go. We're all tied up early in the second quarter, and it's been because of the sharpshooting of Quinn Osgood. She hit a pretty deep one earlier. She stepped out even further for that one.
Yeah, beautiful basketball, right? I like the way a lot of times the best way to get open for a shot is set a good screen, right? So she screened, popped out, got her feet set, shot it with confidence.
She has not missed a shot yet. She's got 11 points, 4 for 4. And 3 of 3 from long range. So we'll see if the Saints do. Got to get the ball into the half court, which is always a chore against Newell-Fonda. Saints are able to get it up there. It's poked free. Diving after. Johnston got a hand on it. But they'll call a held ball. It goes back to the Mustangs.
Yeah, against that pressure, you got to keep spacing. You really got to think. And I would say you want to maximize your dribbles, right? So if you're going to dribble and go somewhere, but then get rid of it quickly. Make that defense shift, just like if you were in the half court.
Pass goes inside and outside to Vi, who buries a triple.
We have had a lot of different girls make three-pointers so far this game, which is a lot of fun.
They're spreading the wealth. Newell-Fonda gets the steal back. They dump it inside, and now it's Quinn Sievers working her way in, gets fouled, but before the shot, so we'll have an inbound for Newell-Fonda instead.
You talked about the tradition, and with the Seaver sisters, they're not going anywhere anytime soon here because these two girls really know how to play.
Yeah, well, and Quinn's older sister, Macy, was a tremendous player for Newell-Fonda. She's was just recently the NAIA Player of the Year up at Dordt University in Sioux Center. So the tradition continues past the high school and into the college level. As St. Ansgar goes to the outside. That three's off the mark. And Quinn brings it up the floor quickly. Here she comes. And she dumps it in. The shot missed. This one, oh, what a save by Osgood.
She can have her head up. She has someone, but...
Here comes Johnston working her way in. The step through. Couldn't get the touch. And this will result in a foul on the rebound. It's assessed to the Saints.
This is going to be the tricky part of the game. For the next 4 minutes, let's just keep our eyes on this, Daniel. Like, you can almost feel it, all the substitutions. This is where they want to get you these last 4 minutes of the first half, and then kind of as you go on in the second half, do your legs start getting heavy? And then mentally, too, do you start wearing down?
Get a look at that save again by Osgood. What a job. There's a shot coming out of the replay that goes in and out for Newell-Fonda. And St. Ansgar will take it back the other way. Oh, a dangerous pass once again. That one's tipped off the Mustangs. Yeah, it's, again, you've got so many different weapons that Newell-Fonda uses. I'm not seeing anybody on the bench that's got their warm-up shirts still on. It feels like they've all played. Here's
high-low, nope.
Going to Cruzy, and they hand it off and try to roll Cruzy down low. How about Brabeck holding her own against the tallest player on the floor? Kick out to Norby.
A good pass.
Oh, what a feed to Johnston. She's going to the line for two.
Yeah, I really like that. Norby kind of was going on that right-hand dribble, and she just was alert and aware, seeing Johnston, and really good diagonal pass.
So J.C. Johnston's back at the line. She's knocked down one of her 2 attempts so far, and make it 2 of 3. She makes it a 2-point game. And we'll get some more substitutions in, of course. These substitutions, of course, are brought to you by IMT Insurance.
And take a look at that. Look at that little zip diagonal pass. Really nice.
Gets her to the line. Can she convert the second? You betcha.
She's got a nice stroke. She's a good-looking player.
13 points right out of the get-go for J.C. Johnston. And St. Ansgar's down 1. Saints almost got a takeaway of their own. Quinn Sievers just massaging through the defense. Gets a good bucket. 3-point Newell-Fonda lead. Midway through this quarter, Saints do get it across to Johnston. Looking into the corner. That's a drive for Fall.
Good job.
Knew when to reset it. Oh, Osgood putting on the moves.
Nice.
For the tie, just a bit strong. There's Cruzy, the O-board. And look at a held ball this time. Saints keep it.
You hear a lot of coaches talk about it, right? If you're one of the taller players out there, you want to keep that up there high. Don't let it come down low where the guards can get in there.
Yeah, you'd lose your height advantage at that point.
Easier said than done, right? Kind of momentum and gravity takes. Ooh.
Cruzy looking to the cut. There's Johnston. And that is off Newell-Fonda. Yeah, you could see that one developing, Coach. St. Ansgar will set up for an inbound. Deflected out by Hograve there. Osgood, who still has yet to miss a shot for St. Ansgar. Inbounds into Cruzy.
She might be coming in. Yep.
Yeah, here she comes into the corner. Got free. Another 3. Doesn't go.
It's close, though. It was right there.
So she's missed her first shot. Now we'll get a tie up again. Back to Newell-Fonda.
Tell you what, though, Quinn Osgood, she comes off those screens, gets her feet set, and gets a good look at the basket. You can see why she's made so many this year.
Yeah, now up to 76 3-point field goals. Just trying to put that record out of reach. Wants to make sure it's
good and safe, right?
Yep, in her name, or maybe something that she can try and break next year. She is a junior. And Quinn Sievers, the nice mid-range shot.
Beautiful move, right? Little hesitation, just kind of blew right past the defender. And then instead of getting in there with the tree, she just pulled up and knocked it down.
Here comes St. Ansgar. Osgood with a head of steam. It's poked out, and it stays with St. Ansgar.
Yeah, you can really feel this in the balance right here in this game. And, you know, both coach and staffs are really feeling this as a big 3 minutes, right? Careful.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pass to Cruzy. She's fouled. Yeah, because you want to, if you're St. Ansgar, you want to make this deficit as little as possible heading into the locker room to try and give yourself the momentum going into the second half, of course.
Yeah, you know, you can go in at halftime and kind of get settled down a little bit, talk it out, and be like, all right, we can go play with these guys. But if you have a 10-point deficit to work your way through, that makes it really tough because not only do you have to win the second half, you have to win it by more than 10 points.
Osgood. She's got such good handles.
She really does.
Kick out to Norby. She works her way in.
More.
Open 3, and it is just too strong. Can't get the touch, and the rebound to Walsh. Fought through some good Saint rebounders down there. Here's Sievers pulling up again from the elbow. That's her second straight from there.
Man, they're fun to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, the Sievers put on a show, whether it's Quinn or Ellie. They are so good.
Good pass.
Into Cruzy, and she's fouled from behind. Quinn makes her earn it at the free throw line.
How about McKenna Norby? A couple nice passes here in the end of the first half.
It's going to be Lindsay Cruzy, who's already set her future to play volleyball at Southwest Minnesota State. She'll be a Mustang at the D2 level, and the first one goes for Cruzy. Had a double-double in that regional final on Wednesday as we take a look at the opportunity that got her to the free throw line.
Look at that. Good look.
And not a bad idea by Quinn Sievers to make her earn it at the line, which she did.
Yep.
Both free throws go in for Cruzy. So it is back to a 5-point Newell-Fonda lead.
So where do we know, is Quinn the youngest in the Sievers family?
Yes, she is the younger sister of a couple, and then there's also some cousins in there.
Okay.
So there's a couple Sievers clans that Coach Jungers has been fortunate enough to coach.
Well, she plays kind of like a little sister, and I mean that in the most positive of ways.
Little spark to her,
yeah,
energy.
She sure does.
Absolutely. And confident, too, as she put up that three.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get a foul on the rebound.
Survival on the driveway pickup games, one-on-one, like she plays with a little chip on her shoulder.
Well, when your older sister is a national player of the year,
right?
I mean, you got to find a way to hold your own on the driveway.
You got to have a little spunk.
Absolutely. And Quinn is only a freshman, so Ellie, cousin there, is a sophomore, so you've got so many different opportunities that they will have to compete here at the state tournament. And now JC Johnston had to check out. She's got some blood that they got to clean up. And the Mustangs, the skip pass, dangerous. Cruzy got a hand on it. And now here's Quinn Sievers. All alone. How about a three? Doesn't fall this time. And the Saints will bring it up. And it'll be Osgood trying to work it up the floor. Does
Good
get
job.
to Norby. They can set up on the wing. Cruzy tried to lob inside, and fronting it is Roberts. Stole away. The Mustangs in transition.
Good
what
pass.
a feed to Ellie Sievers. It danced out. And a rebound is controlled by St. Ansgar. And the Saints have numbers. Here comes the run out for Osgood. They back it out. After all that, St. Ansgar still can bring it to within a score on this possession. That misses. Newell-Fonda the board. And it's Quinn Sievers again. She makes it look so effortless.
Oh, she sure does. Oh, look at that.
The step around for two.
Beautiful move right there, right? She uses change of speed really well for such a young player.
Quick timeout, and how about Quinn Sievers? Ellie highlighted as a freshman last year. Quinn as a freshman this year. 10 points off the bench. She is such an energy bringer for Newell-Fonda.
Yeah, just fantastic. And suits... Well, I think they complement each other, right? When we talk about a lot of these girls, I think we've talked about almost all their guards and their quickness. So they've been raised and brought up watching this style of basketball, and I'm sure in their summer camps and everything, it is really preached. Everything is fast and quick, and they move. And then that's how they play well, right? And so they're just a little quicker and faster. Makes it really hard in transition defense. There's all sorts of problems. The quicker you can play, the harder it is going to be to defend you.
Newell-Fonda makes it incredibly difficult to do what they need to do, or do what their opponents need to do. And a dangerous pass.
Yeah.
Ball's still free. St. Ansgar's got it covered up, but they're going to get a held ball. And this one goes back to the Saints.
Kind of a tricky one, wasn't it, with the line? We were right on, and it gets to be a tough call. One thing you got to be really careful of when you're playing against intense pressure like this is not leading too much, because that can get you in trouble. And like I said, St. Ansgar probably hasn't seen pressure like this. I mean, not many teams do play like this.
Yeah, this Newell-Fonda is one of one.
Oh.
We've seen that year in and year out here at the state tournament. Nobody can compare to the energy and hustle they bring. That's a dangerous pass, and Walsh has got it. Here comes Newell-Fonda back the other way. Up ahead, and pass inside. Cruzy's right there for it.
She was wide open, though.
She was. Probably the easiest steal she will get.
No doubt.
St. Ansgar gets across, and they set it up. Johnston working in, floater up with the touch.
I love the way she attacks, right? She really has one thing in mind when she gets the basketball. Look at that.
Oh, the pass on a dime to Hograve with a foul.
Really good look ahead that time by Quinn Sievers.
That pass was put 60 feet up the floor, right on the money. We'll see it again. She's on the other three-point arc.
That's
right
perfect.
to Hograve.
What you got to understand, that's not easy to put that right in the shooting pocket, and that's really what led to that three-point attempt or three-point play.
Can she hit the free throw? You betcha. Riley Hograve, averaging 10 points a ball game, such a pivotal player, and she'll check out for the last 22 seconds of this first half.
Really got to take care of the basketball here. Newell-Fonda is going to get the ball to start the second half as well.
Dangerous pass, tipped around, and Norby leaves it off for Osgood. 10 seconds left.
Good.
And they go inside, and Frine is fouled from behind.
Yeah, good post position. You can see when they get the ball reversed, it kind of softens up the defense, and they're getting better looks. It's just hard to do that against all that pressure.
Now, when your brain and your body have to go a million miles an hour, it's
hard.
Very tough. We'll get some substitutions in once again. Of course, they're brought to you by IMT Insurance. St. Ansgar with a chance for the last shot and can cut it to as little as 5, barring a 4-point play, of course. They're looking, get it into Cruzy. Stuck on the baseline. Johnston traveled, and now Newell-Fonda will get a chance at a desperation heave.
Most times I'd say it might just be desperation, but keep your eye. Quinn Sievers,
right.
Look at her. She's ready for it.
Yeah, she wants to go quickly. Up ahead, Ellie Sievers didn't get it off in time. And so we head to the halftime break with the score in favor of Newell-Fonda. An 8-point lead for the Mustangs, but the Saints are holding their own. Let's see if Newell-Fonda can keep things moving into the second half, or will St. Ansgar have a charge at the perennial power and multi-time state champion Mustangs? We'll step aside here on our coverage from Des Moines. When we come back, we'll get you some statistics and continue our halftime coverage from there. It is Newell-Fonda leading St. Ansgar by 8 here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. You're watching live coverage on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, you better stake up. Fairway and meat go hand in hand.
This dream is meant for you and me.
Poultry, pork, and beef, your home for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed.
Fairway, it's the one you need.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Excuse me, ma'am. You dropped this.
Oh.
Health powers life, from the delightfully routine to the truly uncharted. Sometimes life takes an unexpected turn, like receiving a cancer diagnosis. At Mercy One, you have access to a team of cancer experts with advanced technologies and holistic therapies for the cancer care you need close to home. Our team will guide you every step of the way, ensuring you're ready no matter what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
It takes a village to care for a patient. From all of the various people, if you come see us, that you'll meet. Every one of those people, we try to get people that are committed to making that the best experience that they can do.
I think the breadth of coverage that we're able to provide, I think is unique. All of these different facets that all intertwine are what allow us to take care of the community the way that I feel they should.
At DMOS, we're here when you need us.
Well, we welcome you back to the Casey Center in Des Moines with Chris Larson, Daniel Versteeg with you. It's halftime, and Newell-Fonda has an 8-point lead on St. Ansgar here in a Class 1A state quarterfinal. Winner will get the winner of our next matchup, St. Albert and IGHSAU. Strong first half for Newell-Fonda. We expected nothing less. Let's see how they got it done by taking a look at some of our statistics in this first half. And, of course, they are brought to you by Sukup Seed. And, well, the main thing that stands out, the turnover number. You mentioned during the break, St. Ansgar did a lot of good things in the first half. They could take care of the ball a little bit more consistently. They'd be in a better spot. 16 turnovers and then 17 points for Newell-Fonda off of those 16 turnovers, and that's really the difference in the ball game right now. Yeah, because if you're St. Ansgar, you're thinking, man, we're hitting 50% shots and getting some second chance opportunities, but just can't consistently take care of the ball. Well, and I think we talked about this at the outset. It's not only the turnovers, but it's that the turnovers are leading directly to really easy baskets on the other end. Yeah, it's tricky. Obviously, we talk about this because we're watching the ball game, but it's a lot easier said than done against that Newell-Fonda pressure to do what you need to do. But the Saints are well coached. They're going to try and put something together in the locker room. Yeah, and it is. I think it's sometimes as much of a mental exhaustion as it is a physical exhaustion because, a lot of times you're kind of trained in a basketball game and you can just dribble it up to half court before you have to start worrying. Not against Newell-Fonda, right? As soon as they score, you got to be thinking, all right, how are we going to work the ball up the court? So hopefully at halftime, if you're St. Ansgar, you just want to get yourself review things like maximize your dribble, make sure you're meeting the passes, make good passes, and you're reviewing all those things that fundamentally you talked about. And then if you're Newell-Fonda, you're saying, hey, 16 turnovers. Let's pick up the pressure even more to start the second half. Well, a good opportunity for St. Ansgar to see if they can make a run at it, or will Newell-Fonda continue their reign of dominance here at the state tournament. Second half coverage will be coming up in just a few minutes. Let's step aside and so we enjoy the workings of the Ballard Dance Team, part of our halftime festivities. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau with live coverage on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
It's the simplest expression. Smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.
As we take a quick break from tournament coverage, all of us at the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union want to extend our sincere appreciation to our title sponsor, the Iowa Farm Bureau, for their continued support of this championship event. I'm joined once again by Brent Johnson, president of the Iowa Farm Bureau, who's here to share more about the special souvenirs our participating student athletes will be taking home this week.
You know, that's right, Aaron. Our incredible student athletes won't be leaving empty-handed. Every athlete competing today will take home a custom souvenir bag tag to commemorate their hard work and dedication. And for our championship teams, we're thrilled to present pink championship ball caps, a bold symbol of everything that they've earned. Athletes will also receive a signature ball, perfect for collecting autographs from coaches and teammates and creating a keepsake that they'll treasure for years. Each of these items is more than just swag. They're reminders of what's possible when you work hard and follow your dreams.
Brent, thank you to the Iowa Farm Bureau for helping make this championship experience so special for our athletes. Now let's get back to the action.
Back inside the Casey Center in Des Moines with Chris Larson, Daniel Versteeg with you, and that's your halftime score. Newell-Fonda holds an 8-point lead on St. Ansgar in a 1A quarterfinal. The winner will be set to take on either St. Albert or IGHSAU Elkhorn Kimballton. That will conclude the quarterfinal round of the state tournament coming up here, in just a little bit from now at 6:45. We'll have that game here on the Girls Union Digital Network, of course. And, well, I know we could talk a lot about the first half, but boy, I'm just looking ahead and projecting here. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we get St. Albert, Newell-Fonda round 2 after they went to double overtime for the title last year? Oh, it's a possibility.
It's right there in the taking. You know, obviously we have some other good teams that are going to have something to say about it, but that would be quite a treat in a semifinal.
Yes.
Anytime you get those rematches, I think it's always fun.
Well, and of course, earlier this year, Newell-Fonda beat St. Albert by 4 points down in Council Bluffs. So they've already got that little feather in their cap heading into that matchup. And, Newell-Fonda is so well battle-tested. They schedule so tough. They played Cherokee, a 3A state qualifier. Of course, they played Emmitsburg in their conference. Emmitsburg, who actually beat Newell-Fonda. First time the Mustangs had lost in conference play for almost a decade, over 100 games.
Which is absolutely just so insane, right? Like to be into triple digits on your conference win streak. Any of us who have either played or coached realize that is one insane statistic.
It's hard to get a single-digit win streak in your conference, let alone a triple-digit.
Hard to go undefeated in a season.
Right. Yeah, Newell-Fonda, second-place finisher in the Twin Lakes Conference for the first time since probably since some of these players were in kindergarten.
I was going to say, back when they were, in preschool.
Right. Yeah, wow. What a run, though. And, of course, Emmitsburg was here at the state tournament, so they're well battle-tested. Okay,
Yeah.
if you're St. Ansgar and you're coming out here in the second half, you've spent a lot of energy in the first half. You've done a lot of good things. What do you think is part of the message and some of the things they might be looking to accomplish here in the second half?
Well, we kind of talked, me and you were talking about it at the break. You just want to review and take care of that basketball because everything else is really good. They've played really good basketball, but you can't have 16 turnovers. I mean, if you're going to, right now, I would even set a goal and be like, we cannot be over 25 turnovers and win this game. That means we only have 9 left.
Yes.
So we got to value that basketball a little bit more than we have been.
Yeah, no, it's tough to do, but you got to find a way because, right now the only black eye on the stat sheet for St. Ansgar is that turnover margin. And, of course, as you alluded to earlier in our halftime coverage, Newell-Fonda 17 points off of turnovers. So they're costly, they're open court, and they're, really swinging the game one way or the other.
Yeah, it really is. And so that I think we talked about it at the outset in our keys to success. It's right there for whichever team does it better. So far, Newell-Fonda is impeding, or imposing their will onto St. Ansgar. If they want to change their fortune, they're going to have to take better care of the basketball this half.
Well, and Newell-Fonda will get the chance right out of the get-go. That's Ellie Sievers who will set up for the inbound here. And the Mustangs will get the basketball right away here to start the second half of play, leading this contest by 8 as this quarterfinal continues. Newell-Fonda out, of course, in the white jerseys. St. Ansgar in the red. And the Mustangs
good cut.
Look inside. And a good recovery on the backside of that defense by Osgood.
Yeah, really good cut. Good offense, just a little better defense by Osgood.
And chase her down from behind. And Marini Brabeck will set up for the inbound for Newell-Fonda. See what kind of set play they've got set up here. And they go into Hograve, and she works it inside. Runs into Cruzy. Good defense down low.
Yeah, she does a really nice job of going straight up and straight down.
St. Ansgar will bring it up and do so with a ton of defense. Brabeck picks it off. Over to Sievers for the 2.
It's exhausting. I'm telling you, it's really hard to play against. Now they're in 1-2-1-1, I believe.
Yep. Oh, that's a tough pass.
There you go.
They got it on target, and Norby missed the mark on the next pass.
Yeah, and it just speeds you up, and like I said, it becomes as much of a mental game as it is a physical game, because that is obviously a pass she makes 9 out of 10 times, but when you're playing a little bit ahead of yourself, you can make mistakes.
Newell-Fonda up by double digits now, and it's Sievers. Oh, a little pin down at the top. Vi missed the 3, and the Saints are able to run out of it. Here comes Osgood. Lobbing it off the glass, doesn't go. Rebound for Sievers. She's quick as lightning back the other way. She splits the 2 and scores.
Yeah, really good move. We talked about it with both Sievers now, that the hesitation and the quickness that they play with is really impressive.
Kick ball underneath. Walsh lets her defense catch up to her. And St. Ansgar will set up for another inbound. Newell-Fonda's the only one to score so far here in the third quarter. And they'll go inside to Cruzy. See if you can get all reliable down in the post going. They're going to kick it out to Osgood. Looking inside, Walsh steals it. And Ellie Sievers has open court ahead of her for the easy lefty layup.
A little assist there for Brabeck there. You see she kind of shielded off the defender from running by her. We talked about this, 4 turnovers in a row here, and that's just going to be exactly playing into the hands of Newell-Fonda. Might have to get a timeout.
Sievers makes it hurt. And yeah, St. Ansgar needs a timeout. How about the start to the second half? Newell-Fonda's on a 9-0 run. They lead this one by 17, wasting no time out of the locker room. We'll take a break and come back with more state tournament coverage in just a moment on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back to the Casey Center in Des Moines with Chris Larson, Daniel Versteeg with you. Boy, it's been Newell-Fonda's show here in the first minute and 44 seconds. And now another factor you got to think about, Coach. As a coach, you only have 1 timeout left for 14 minutes of game action against probably one of the toughest basketball teams in the state.
Yeah, but it was kind of, you had no choice, right? Yeah. You want to make it meaningful minutes here down the stretch, and I think that Coach Foster knew that if she didn't take that timeout, it might get away from him in a hurry.
A 9-0 start to the second half. St. Ansgar breaks out of it. There's Cruzy.
Love to see that after a timeout, right? Settle them down, and you see they use the pass.
Yes.
Use the pass to break the pressure.
Maybe kind of let the weight lift off their shoulders. And now Newell-Fonda resets it out. Good defense there from Osgood.
Love it.
Works through the screen. Inside look. Turnaround shot. Nice. High off glass for Roberts.
Yeah, she's brought good energy off the bench.
Well, she's got a few baskets to show for it as well. Here's Cruzy. Looking to Norby. Runs through the defender, and they get the defensive foul. St. Ansgar will keep it.
Yeah, keep an eye on this, though, as you watch against this pressure. When you can use the pass, if you catch the ball and look first, so many people and so many players are guilty of catching it, starting to dribble, and it's always harder to pass and see the floor when you're dribbling. If you catch and turn and look, a lot of times against pressure, there's a whole world out there in front of you. You're just not seeing it.
Oh, here's a three. See if Osgood gets going. Just a bit off. Ellie Sievers. What a dime. Down low to Vi. Can't quite reward her with an assist. Vi's got it back. Sievers from the top of the arc, and it won't go. Saints on the run out. They've got some numbers. Johnston out of bounds off the Saints.
Boy, she has quick hands, doesn't she, Ellie?
Yeah, so tough to deal with. And Newell-Fonda brings in some more bench players, and they are some IMT insurance substitutions. Again, learn how you can be worry-free with IMT by visiting imtins.com.
One thing that I really love about watching Newell-Fonda, they're going to get her on a carry, but it's a tough call. But one thing I really love about watching them is how they just let their kids play.
Yep.
And I just am a big believer in you teach kids how to play and then you let them play as much as possible. And they do a really great job of, you can tell they're so grounded. They know exactly what's expected of them. And then they let them play, and you don't need to be telling them what to do all the time. It's fun.
Yeah, you can tell that coaching staff, they feel like they've done their work by this point, and now they're ready to go. If they're able to take the win. Touch for Quinn Sievers, not quite there. Good rebound by Johnston.
We talked about it. We got girls state champions, boys state championship coach, so they know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good basketball won in the communities of Newell and Fonda.
Right.
They've been winning basketball games longer than anybody can remember, it feels like. Saints had the ball out of a Newell-Fonda foul, and there was a collision there that the Saints get the benefit on. There's Norby into the corner. Loses the possession.
Yeah.
And Newell-Fonda's out of bounds. Stays with the Saints.
Good hustle on both by both sides there.
Good hustle there. That's Cameron Perman. That was part of that fracas for the Mustangs. And double checking the shot clock. Everything's good. They're looking into Osgood. Passes out. No, wasn't quite established.
I think, she didn't get that second foot down before the pass came back.
Turnover for the Saints. Newell-Fonda will bring it back up. Yeah, that turnover number is unfortunately growing at a bigger rate than the first half.
That 25 goal that we had is might have to be adjusted.
Yeah, well, it was 8 turnovers a quarter in the first half. St. Ansgar's already turned the ball over 7 times in this quarter. Still got 4 minutes to deal with. Here's Ellie Sievers. Lost it. That'll be St. basketball.
And that's only their 7th turnover, right? And so not only do they turn the other team over, but then they also take really good care of the basketball.
It's such a tough combination to play against. And now it's back to Newell-Fonda. Well, the ball's just hanging out on this baseline. Yeah. And so the Mustangs will set up for the inbound. Unfortunately, that does also go as a St. Ansgar turnover, so that's their 8 turnovers in this quarter. So Brabeck will inbound. Ellie Sievers dumps it into Walsh. Dribbled it off her foot, able to recover. And Brabeck sets it up inside. Kick to the corner, the 3 doesn't have the touch. Cruzy's there for the rebound. Trying to pass it out of there, and we got a foul. Newell-Fonda's whistled for the infraction.
Good job by J.C. Johnston. She kind of reminded the refs on the last dead ball. She's like, hey, keep an eye on them. They're getting pretty physical with us, and got a call right there. Ask nicely, and sometimes you get the call.
Yep, just remind them what you've seen and what you've experienced.
Really good reffing crew. I've had them a couple times down here, and they do a really good job. One of our best.
Yep, they've got some good referees here at the state tournament, and that is shown each and every time. Saints will have the possession. And this inbound will be set up on the wing. Going to kick it out, looking for Maybe an outside shot. See if they can spark this St. offense. Falk, now she goes inside. Cruzy behind the defense.
There you go.
She's going to the line.
You can see, though, how they kind of just suck the life out of you on offense. You're kind of just almost by the end of the night, you just don't even want to play offense anymore. You're like, it's more of a pain to be on offense than it is on defense.
Yeah, having the basketball is always a challenge when you play Newell-Fonda. And a nice free throw there by Cruzy, who came into tonight really kind of rough from the free throw line, 42%.
Yeah.
She knocks down another and now has made 4 of 5 here at the state tournament in the quarterfinals.
She just needs a big arena.
Yes, right. Those small gyms she plays in throughout the year, that was not quite up to her
style.
speed. No. So another one here for Cruzy, who is at 8.6 rebounds in the game. That misses just a bit short. And Newell-Fonda hustles up the floor. Quinn Sievers doesn't quite fall. There's the putback by Roberts. You mentioned her minutes off the bench. They've been solid.
She's been great off the bench, really contributing with offensive rebounds and scoring.
Another dangerous pass for St. Ansgar, and Newell-Fonda will get the reward of having the basketball back.
It always gets hard too, and like I said, I've coached in games with really teams that can play with good pressure like this, and it gets hard because everyone gets frustrated. Parents get frustrated, start yelling at you, tell you take care of the ball, and I guarantee you, there's not one of these girls who, one, doesn't know that that's their job, and two, isn't really good at it. Right? It's just really hard to do, and this is why Newell-Fonda is so good.
It's like we said, I think right off the top.
Oh, good cut.
That's a good pass down low, good recovery by Cruzy. There is a pressure defense, and then there's a Newell-Fonda pressure defense.
Right.
It's a totally different world.
Yep. Well, and it's because their concentration level, too. They stay on at all time. Even just like that last cut right there, they do such a good job of just playing, right? They think the game, they play the game. It's really a pleasure to watch.
Saints have the rebound, and they're working it up the floor. This is Johnston, the Conference Player of the Year for St. Ansgar. Had a big impact in the first half. Yet to get going here in the second half. We'll try and get it to her. Here's a three. Off the mark. Good rebound by Norby. And working it around, trying to find an option. There's Johnston once again. Step through. Tough shot attempt. Cruzy got a hand on it. Newell-Fonda comes down with it. And Walsh starts running up the floor. Wow. Kept the possession. Quinn Sievers downhill.
Good pass.
Just off the fingers. Walsh saves it. Wide open jumper. Yeah, that's going in for Ellie Sievers.
Yep. Good ball movement again, right? The ball does not stick to their hands. They move the ball and forced another turnover there with their pressure.
Yeah, it's starting to compound here for St. Ansgar's. Turn the ball over double-digit amount of times, 11 of them already here in this quarter alone. And Newell-Fonda has not turned down the intensity at all.
Well, and you can kind of see, right, like how the mental breakdown happens a little bit too, because it's just a little more casual, a little more careless, and it's really hard to just keep your intensity level up.
Another open mid-range for Quinn Sievers. Johnston's there for the rebound.
Nope.
She ran into Roberts. Both kind of came up worse for the wear. And Johnston's fouled the other way.
It's twice now, though. They made a really good pass that would have been maybe an and one.
This one's going to go against Ava Vide. And it's a constant reminder as we've watched this game that we see, I believe, some blood drawn once again.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah, constant reminder how tough the Iowa girl is.
Right.
Nobody compares to the toughness that the Iowa girl brings to the court. I mean, J.C. Johnston's had to be bandaged up a couple times. They're working on another one down there. And, Ella Roberts took a shot to the face in there as well. So I think her nosebleed is part of the cause for the stoppage down there. As both teams get a chance to look things over. And
yeah, there you can see she doesn't want any help, though. She's like, just let me deal with it. And she's tough.
She is a tough girl. We expect nothing less from these two programs. Of course, St. Ansgar, the volleyball state champions this year. Newell-Fonda has been to the state championship contest so many times. They've been in the state title game each of the last 3 seasons, and they've been in the state championship game 7 of the last 8 years. So impressive, the consistency they've had, and it's because of shots like that, defensive plays. They do everything so well.
I don't think people understand, too, how hard that is to accomplish,
7
right?
of 8 years of the championship.
Like, it's hard to get to one. Like, and they do it routinely, and they just bring them up in waves. And like I said, but the beauty of it is they play a really good brand of basketball, right? And they play together. We talked about it with the subs. Their girls are really smart players. There's not like people barking out orders, telling them what to do all the time. They just know how to play the game.
It's like they're all of one mind sometimes out there. They don't even need to communicate, it feels like. We got 2 free throws after all this from Johnston after we got things taken care of on the floor, and she sinks one.
Yeah, she's had a really nice night. Really nice player.
She's just about to her per-game scoring average. She's at 15, averages about 17 and a half, and gets to 16 with that one.
Yeah, really nice free throw stroke there. She's, 4 of 5 on the night?
Not too shabby. There's a skip-out pass, and the 3 by Sievers misses. Walsh on the board. Back up for 2, but missed with a foul.
I really remember Walsh from last year. She is really a great interior player. Again, another one of those players that complements their style, right? She doesn't need to have the ball all the time, but boy, it finds her. She's a great offensive rebounder. You've talked about it a couple times. When they do break pressure, she's really smart about angles and not giving up layups to the other team. She does a whole lot, and she's, again, one of those players that helps them be successful.
And she does the little things. Like you said, she doesn't need to be the one scoring. She's averaging 7 rebounds, a couple of blocks, a few steals a game. She can do the other things on the court that help you win a basketball game. As she does miss a free throw there, so St. Ansgar gets the chance to run out of it. They'll find Osgood. She wants a 3, and it missed. In and out. Rebound for Cruzy. Saints get another try. Johnston off the dribble. That's off the mark. Osgood is out of bounds.
Good hustle, though. Good hustle.
Tough break for Osgood. She made her first 3 threes of the night and has not made one since. Yeah. It's been a struggle.
Yep, and see, that's the other thing that the pressure does, right? It just kind of weighs heavy on your legs. A lot of different things going on.
So Newell-Fonda up the floor late in this third quarter. Wanting to get into the semifinal round once more. Hograve works it inside. And Newell-Fonda's in the lane for 3 seconds.
Yep. Little assist for the assistant coach over there.
Reminding them
just a little reminder.
Yeah, of course. Every now and then the officials have to be reminded of that call.
That's right.
It doesn't get called very often. So.
No. Good move.
Osgood splits a double team in transition. Going inside to Frine. Wide open 3 for Norby. In and out. Frine put back. Does go.
Frine kind of looked at that one like, thank you.
It's about time.
Yeah,
Alexis Frye needed that one. Here's Ellie Sievers to the cup. Just a bit too strong on that one. And now, maybe the Saints getting a little pick-me-up here.
Let's see if we can get a bucket here, make it interesting in the start the fourth quarter.
Here comes Osgood. Going into the corner. Trying to kick it out. 50-50 ball. What a hustle by Norby.
Yeah, good hustle.
How in the world? I thought that was going to be Newell-Fonda ball. We're going to get another look at the inside look for Frine. Came off an offensive rebound.
Offensive rebound. Look at this. Whoop. And splashdown.
Just like she wanted it to go.
Right?
So St. Ansgar keeps the ball thanks to the great hustle by Norby.
Really was.
Johnston going down low. Good pass to Cruzy.
Beautiful.
Hits the 2, and St. Ansgar's got the ball rolling a bit. But Newell-Fonda can shut it down on this possession.
And St. Ansgar will get the ball to start the fourth quarter, so if they can get a stop here.
Sievers the pull-up. Too much. Fight for the rebound. Still loose. And it goes out at zeros. So it will be St. Ansgar basketball. They close with a couple of buckets and bring it to within 14 points. See what they got in store for the fourth quarter. This Class 1A state quarterfinal continues in just a moment on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Back inside of the Casey Center here in Des Moines with Chris Larson, the state champion head basketball coach. I'm Daniel Versteg. Newell-Fonda with a 4-point lead on St. Ansgar as we get ready to go with the fourth quarter of play. And we saw St. Ansgar build some momentum. They started to get something rolling. It's going to be critical to keep that going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're down 14. Right now you want to chip it into single digits, right? And so this first possession, you're going to try and run whatever you think can get you a bucket. Maybe it's something with a little backdoor cut, to take advantage of this pressure. But you got to get a couple buckets early to make it interesting.
So here we go. St. Ansgar out of the stoppage of the quarter break. See if they can put a run together, make things interesting. Quick foul against Ellie Sievers will help the cause, and that is the third against Sievers.
I'd like to see St. Ansgar continue to get that ball in the middle of the court, whether it be through a dribble or just enter it to the high post area. They've found a lot of openings, like on those diagonal passes, if they can find it here. There it goes. That's where we want it.
Inside.
There you go.
Over to Cruzy. What a pass.
Yep. Good offense, good execution, right? Just as we talked about, and now they got it to 12. Got to get another stop, though.
Newell-Fonda has been missing a little bit lately.
Oh,
Walsh
traveled
inside, missed that one, got it back. Goes up with the left hand. That dances out, but the rebound still for Newell-Fonda.
She just doesn't stop fighting, does she?
No, she got 2 offensive rebounds there. Brabeck goes inside, hooks it off the glass. That time the third chance goes for Newell-Fonda.
Their depth is just so impressive. It feels like everybody out on that court is a weapon.
Osgood, oh, what a nice move into the lane. Runs it up off the side of the rim. And it's Mustang ball. Now Osgood commits a foul as she tried to step around Hograve. So Osgood picks up her second. So we're not really in too much foul trouble.
No.
A couple with 3. But past that, there's not been a whole lot. So good chance to stay clean and hopefully avoid fouling out of this game.
You also I feel like Newell-Fonda plays with just a really confident poise. They don't really panic. They just kind of go and do their business. And right as we speak of it, just a really simple kind of give and go cut. And they make the game look way easier than it is.
Well, Hograve, after making that basket, now commits a foul. Yeah, that play was a perfect example of that. You just have Walsh at the high post. Hograve cuts by her, just gives it, and it's 2 points.
Yeah, it's fun.
Just that easy, right?
It's fun to watch. And then I like, they're going to pressure, which leads to some fouls when they foul. They don't overreact. It's just like, let's make them, work to get the ball up court on us. They look like they enjoy playing defense as much as they do offense.
Yeah, which for high school kids is not always the case. You get a rare kind of player that likes the defensive side in basketball. And Walsh is whistled for the foul. Saints will go back to the line. That is already the third foul of the quarter against Newell-Fonda.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind too, right? The way they like to pressure. If you can be strong with the ball, maybe get to the free throw line, score while the clock stopped.
Find a way to chip away however you can. McKenna Norby buries free throw number 1. And we'll get some changes into the ball game. Some substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com.
10 for 13 for St. Ansgar from the free throw line, which is outstanding.
And that one goes in, make it 11 of 14. So much better than their season average. 52% as a team, but now they're shooting almost 80% from the line.
Yeah, they're really doing a wonderful job with that.
That's helping them stick around and see if they've got a shot here.
Yep.
Ellie Sievers wanted to pull that one up. A little give and go from Quinn to Ellie, and she's going to the line for 2. Ellie Sievers draws that foul.
Well, and there hits a point, too, where you might not win the game, but you really want to take advantage of every minute you have playing on this court. You've worked so hard to get to this tournament. You're not going to let anything go. And, like you said, who knows? Maybe you go on a little 10-0 run and it gets crazy for a second. You just don't know in the game of basketball.
First one for Sievers, the returning All-State pick last year as a freshman. As part of the runner-up team. Big cog in that machine. Vi deflects the inbound right away. Saints will have to reset. And she was part of the all-tournament team. Ellie Sievers was as well. She's had a phenomenal freshman experience, and that's just paid dividends. Sophomore, and St. Ansgar turns it over once more. So the Mustangs get the ball back.
Think of how many games you've watched where they just let them inbounds and dribble it all the way up,
Right.
and they don't even care about that maybe 45, 50 feet of the court, and that's just not the way they play, and it really makes it a challenge.
Yeah, that's part of the game when you play Newell-Fonda
Yeah.
that you take for granted against the other teams
Right.
you play. And a foul on the floor will put Ellie Sievers. And they are going to say that's on the shot. Excuse me. Ellie Sievers will go to the line.
I thought that might have been on the floor as well, but she's going to get 2 free throws, and we know she's a phenomenal free throw shooter, shooting 73%.
And shows why. Knocks down that one. Ellie Sievers was part of that state qualifying cross-country team. A number of these girls were, and of course that shows so well here on the basketball floor, their endurance and their stamina to be able to run the length of this floor as many times as they do. Sievers knocks down both, and Newell-Fonda's getting that lead close to 20 once again, making things very tough for St. Ansgar. Dangerous pass somehow hit the target of Ava Falk. Inside, out to Johnston, needs this one, and gets it.
Yeah, good look. Little penetration by Norby, right? Got into the heart of the defense and then kicks for an open 3.
But now Ellie Sievers the other way. That missed. The rebound's out off Newell-Fonda. It's back to the Saints. So Newell-Fonda misses a quick one and done. And that's the thing about Newell-Fonda. They are, I feel like, a team you can come back on just because of how quick they move the ball. They don't know how to take time off the clock.
There is a lot of possession still. Yeah,
she did not quite get into the front court.
Good call.
But yeah, so many opportunities to potentially make a run. It's just so challenging, too, with how they play.
Again, they do what they do, and so I don't think they're going to necessarily slow down. Obviously, I think every possession they want to get good shots, but they're going to just keep playing their game.
Newell-Fonda with Quinn Sievers. Now they do look like they're slowing it down a bit by their standards. Only shooting at 8 seconds on the shot clock instead of 5, and Quinn Sievers sinks that one.
Yeah, really nice. Going to her left, but kind of coming back and then shooting a little runner floater with her right hand.
Saints go into the corner. There's an open 3 that just missed from Falk. Rebound there for Johnston. She takes to the cups.
Good move.
What a Euro step.
Yeah, she's really showed off her skills tonight. Done a really nice job out there.
21 points, 6 rebounds for J.C. Johnston. Here's Ella Roberts inside, off the glass. And Ella Roberts with 9 points off the Newell-Fonda bench.
Yeah, she has been outstanding. Came in only averaging 4.1. Look at that. Good offense backed by St. Ansgar.
Alexis Frine on that one. Here's Roberts going for double figures. Missed that one. And a quick rebound for the Saints. Splitting the double team. Out up ahead. Norby saves it. And St. Ansgar's into the half court with Osgood. It's a 15-point game. Could be trimmed with how the Saints like to shoot the 3. Osgood lobs inside. It is off Newell-Fonda. Back to the Saints. Short time to get the job done as Newell-Fonda does make a 3-player change, a quick IMT insurance substitution. And the Saints will set up for the inbound. Dump it in. Quick shot by Cruzy. Didn't go. Puts it back. Couldn't quite get the 3-point play possibility, but she'll have 2 at the line.
Yeah, you can really see why St. Ansgar had a nice year, right? Obviously the pressures been challenging for them, but they have some really nice pieces, and their skill level is really good.
First one for Cruzy, just a bit short. Cruzy's been to the line a lot here for St. Ansgar. He's gotten there now 7, I believe now 8 times with this second shot upcoming. And knocks that one down. So not
6
too
of
shabby.
8, not bad.
Not too shabby of a day. And now here comes Newell-Fonda into the paint. Oh, Hograve runs into the defender. It's saved by Walsh. Spins around her and is fouled. And this could be a big foul, too.
Depending on who it is.
Yeah, it is going to be against Frine, so she picks up her third. Cruzy's playing with 4 fouls now for St. Ansgar. Riley Hograve playing with 4 for Newell-Fonda, and Walsh's free throw's good.
She gave that little, and helped it out. It helped it right in there.
That little extra follow through with the tiptoe, that really helped. Second one, it's short, and Cruzy's got the rebound. Stolen away from her by
How about
Brabeck.
that? Brabeck and Ellie Sievers sitting there going against Cruzy, maybe has a foot on them, right? But they are little ankle biters. They get after you.
Yeah, they are so tough to deal with as Norby gets taken to the ground. Osgood, deep 3, won't go.
Look at her.
Quinn Sievers. How about that rebound for a girl at 5'4", and then she's fouled. Wow.
She is not afraid, and you love seeing that. Like you can just, you can just see that in certain players, right? When you watch them, and she's still young, but man, she is tough, and she knows how to play the game, and not afraid of a thing.
And we are at 5 fouls for St. Ansgar, so that is putting Newell-Fonda on the line. Quinn Sievers, who comes off the bench and averages 11 points a ball game. Tonight she's got 12. And make it 13.
I think that's kind of a staple for Coach Jungers, right? He doesn't really care who starts, right? Nope. Sometimes it might be older girls. He's not worried about that. They're all going to play, and they're going to play a lot of minutes, and that is just something that you can tell they're all bought into his program. Speaking of which, did you see in our notes that he has received the Wooden Legacy Award?
Yes.
And that is, I hope people understand, that is a tremendous honor. And what's really cool is his program and his teams play in that same vein, right?
And yeah, it is worth noting that is a national high school basketball award. That's not state of Iowa. He's one of a handful of one coach across the country that wins that award.
Well, and so many of us, Coach Wooden is an idol of ours and a hero. But one thing that I think is really cool is you watch his team play, and he is a teacher.
Yes.
Coach Jungers is a teacher of the game, and he's not out barking out a lot of orders. He's teaching them how to play, and then he lets them play. And you can tell his culture is amazing. And so what a cool honor for someone in our state to win.
Yeah, he's lost just 84 games in 23 years as a head coach. That's just shy of about 4 losses a season over nearly 2.5 decades.
I lost 84 games in like my second year, I think.
I'm sure it felt like that.
It's not that easy, let me tell you.
Quinn Sievers does do a good job draining the clock. Kick it out to Brabeck. Now the shot clock's at 5. I don't think we've seen that all game. Brabeck, the long 2, missed. Oh, no. No. And Quinn Osgood is down.
Relax. Is she cramping up?
Can't tell if she's in a lot of pain down there, and you can tell she's being assisted by J.C. Johnston.
Hopefully it's just a cramp, but I think they're rubbing out a cramp.
Yeah, the way they're stretching it out, I think that's going to be the case. So, we got thumbs up from one of the assistant coaches there for St. Ansgar. That's Trevor Urick. But you can understand why the pain makes you react like that.
Let me tell you, that doesn't help her pain level at all. But the good is that's not a long-lasting injury.
Yep, so she is working through that here with 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. And St. Ansgar head coach Rachel Foster takes care of the huddle on the bench. Do want to remind you that we've still got one more state quarterfinal tonight to come your way. It pits the Saints of St. Albert against the Spartans of IGHSAU, Elkhorn, Kimballton, who also have a few players from the Audubon School District, so they've got a nice program going there. That's the number 3 seeded Saints, 6 seeded Spartans, and of course, if Newell-Fonda finishes the job here in this game, St. Albert takes care of business in their game. We'll have a rematch of the state championship in the semifinal round coming up on Friday afternoon.
Just fantastic, right? I think the second game we're going to see something too.
Yes.
IGHSAU Elkhorn Kimballton is coming in with a really strong team. Had a lot of success. Obviously, St. Albert's won it last year, and we've talked about that a lot. But it's going to be fun. And then should they have another matchup here in the semis, it'll be great basketball, great theater.
1A is such a good class every year, and we're seeing it again. As a nice jumper there by Johnston to keep the Saints with it.
Man, she has just played great. That time showing off a little something different, right? Putting it on the floor, jump stop, and pull up for the jumper.
25 points tonight for J.C. Johnston. And now Newell-Fonda will again bring the ball out and bleed this clock.
You called for it.
Yeah.
But again, I think you see they're not. It's not a bunch of coaches yelling. It just they know that's what this situation calls for, and they're smart.
Yeah, high basketball IQ for those Newell-Fonda players, and it is worth noting. I mean, when a team goes this quick all throughout the game, to slow down your pace, that can throw them off more than anything in a game.
9 on the shot clock, and let me be clear. I'm complimenting them when I say, like, it's not that they're not coaching; it's that they've already taught them how to play, and kind of the hay is in the barn, right? They know what they need to do, so they're just letting them do it.
Ellie Sievers lost it,
Good
and
hustle.
St. Ansgar's got the stop. Got the ball in the backcourt, and they'll bring it up. The shot clock buzzer went off errantly, and now we got a foul right at midcourt. Puts the Saints on the line. That one's on Brabeck.
Johnston will be back to the line.
Yeah, Johnston's been getting to the line a bunch. St. Ansgar's gotten to the line 18 times as a team. They've made 14 of their free throw attempts. And as you've talked about, J.C. Johnston's had a phenomenal game. 25 points. She's 7 of 8 at the line. And misses the first.
And done it kind of in a variety of ways, right? She's attacked and got 3-point plays. She's made 3-point baskets. She had the pull-up jumper just a couple of minutes ago, and so she's been a really impressive player tonight.
And if this is the end of her high school basketball career at St. Ansgar, what a career it's been. She holds so many records, including the single-game scoring record for the Saints. She had 35 in a game, and the rebounds in a game record. She had 24 rebounds in a single game earlier this
That's
year.
a month for a lot of us.
Right. And it's Quinn Sievers off the side. And the Saints get the ball back. The senior class bringing St. Ansgar back to state as Newell-Fonda gets the open court takeaway, and Hografe lays it in. It's a 16-point Newell-Fonda lead. The Saint program had been to state just a few years ago in 2021. And now this senior class, after a few years off, brought them back to the state tournament and certainly gave Newell-Fonda a good ball game here tonight. Just, again, as we talked about, I'm looking at the stats right now, a 31-9 turnover margin. You take that away or make it a little bit closer, this ball game gets really tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And they make you play, a full court game. And I want to point out, the thing that's equally impressive is, yes, they forced 31 turnovers, but they only turned it over 9 times.
Yes.
That is a huge disparity. I mean, think about it. That means that's 22 extra possessions they get.
Yeah. When you put it like that, it's just mind-blowing.
It makes it really hard to make up that kind of a gap, right?
And it makes it even more impressive that St. Ansgar's only down 14
Yeah, right.
points.
That's an excellent point.
The running clock would be on most games like this.
Yeah, you're very right. Very true.
St. Ansgar's fought through all the circumstances to make this one a pretty interesting ball game when all's said and done. But Newell-Fonda has more on the board. Try one more three, and
why
it
not?
goes. The cherry on top.
Yeah.
Quinn Sievers way outside. And Newell-Fonda hits 75 here tonight. They'll get one more takeaway for good measure. Brabeck to the basket, lays it in for 2. And when all's said and done, Newell-Fonda, after 3 years as runner-up, will try to continue their run to a state title. They defeat St. Ansgar here by 19 points in the quarterfinal round and advance to Friday afternoon's semifinal contest.
Just a little too much pressure, right? You know, the defensive pressure by Newell-Fonda was outstanding. I tell you what, Seavers girls are really fun to watch, and they have a bunch of really heady, smart basketball players on their team. They're going to be a problem in this field. I'll tell you that for the rest of the week.
Quinn's a freshman, Ellie's a sophomore. So
they're going to be a problem for the next several years in this field.
If you don't know the Seavers name and you hadn't learned it over the last decade, you better learn it now because you're going to be stuck with them here at the state tournament for a couple of years.
And as we send it over there, let's give a huge tip of the cap to these St. Ansgar girls. We talked about they won state in volleyball, tremendous athletes, and they really were a game opponent tonight.
And they, by rankings, probably shouldn't even be here to state. They certainly exceeded expectations. Let's go down for our post-game presentation.
Sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Aaron Gerlich and Tanya Moe. Congratulations to head coach Rachel Foster and the Saints from St. Ansgar on an outstanding basketball season. And now we'd like to recognize today's Quick Star star of the game, Ellie Seavers from Newell-Fonda. This standout performance earns her the honor of advancing her team on the bracket to the semifinal round. Thanks to Quickstar for their support of the IGHSAU. Newell-Fonda fans, your team advances to the semifinals and will play the winner of St. Albert and Exira Elkhorn Kimballton on Friday, March 6th at 3:15 p.m.
There you go. Newell-Fonda onto the semifinal round, and they had their pick of the star of the game. But Ellie Seavers, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, gets the job done for Newell-Fonda as they defeat St. Ansgar 77-58. And now we'll await the winner of our next contest tonight. That's Exira Elkhorn Kimballton, and St. Albert will conclude our quarterfinal coverage with semifinals galore the next day and a half. So we'll look forward to that coming up here in the not-too-distant future. But, boy, you got to think, Chris, if Newell-Fonda's going to play like that, they're going to be tough to beat in 1A. They're
going to be super tough to beat. It's always hard. I look over there at St. Ansgar, and there's some tears, and they're going to be really proud of themselves, though, for making it here to come do that following a state championship in volleyball. A lot to be proud of. You can tell what a close team they are. There's been a lot of hugs, and cool to see. I thought they gave a really good effort. It's just Newell-Fonda's here to win it all this year. That's what they have on their mind.
Yep, they're one step closer. 19-point victory in the quarterfinal. Got one more 1A quarters to go. It's St. Albert, Exira Elkhorn Kimballton. That starts in the not-too-distant future. Until then, we'll say so long for all of our crew. For Chris Larson, I'm Daniel Versteg. You've been watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by...
Be super tough to beat. It's always hard. I look over there at St. Ansgar, and there's some tears, and they're going to be really proud of themselves, though, for making it here to come do that following a state championship in volleyball. A lot to be proud of. You can tell what a close team they are. There's been a lot of hugs, and cool to see. I thought they gave a really good effort. It's just Newell-Fonda's here to win it all this year. That's what they have on their mind.
Yep, they're one step closer.